Joseph Nguyen's Don't Believe Everything You Think is a transformative exploration of how our thoughts shape our reality and, often, our suffering. Unlike conventional self-help books that focus on techniques or strategies for positive thinking, Nguyen's book dives into the nature of thought itself and how detaching from certain mental patterns can lead to genuine peace and happiness. The book argues that much of our distress arises from the illusion that we must control our thoughts to control our emotions. However, Nguyen proposes a liberating truth. Freedom and happiness come not from manipulation of thought, but from understanding its transient nature and seeing beyond it. This book serves as a guide for those struggling with anxiety, stress, overthinking, and emotional suffering. It challenges deeply ingrained beliefs and offers a refreshing perspective on how to experience life with clarity and ease. Through a blend of philosophy, psychology, and real-world examples, Nguyen gently leads the reader to a place of self-discovery and lasting peace. Chapter 1. The Root of Our Suffering. Nguyen begins by tackling a fundamental misconception that our external circumstances dictate our happiness. Many people believe that success, wealth, relationships, or achievements will bring them lasting fulfillment. However, the author argues that suffering does not come from external events, but from our thoughts about those events. He introduces the idea that thoughts are not inherently true or false, but simply mental constructs. Our suffering arises when we attach to certain thoughts and mistake them for reality. By believing every thought that crosses our mind, we create an internal world filled with unnecessary worries, insecurities, and fears. To illustrate this, Nguyen provides examples of how the same event can be perceived in vastly different ways by different people, demonstrating that our experience is shaped by our interpretation rather than the event itself. Chapter 2. The Nature of Thought. This chapter delves deeper into the mechanics of thought. Nguyen explains that thoughts are like passing clouds in the sky, impermanent and ever-changing. However, most people become fixated on certain thoughts, allowing them to dictate emotions and behaviors. This fixation is what creates suffering. Nguyen encourages readers to develop awareness of their thoughts rather than automatically believing them. He introduces the idea that thoughts only have power if we engage with them. If we simply observe them without attachment, they lose their grip over us. This concept aligns with mindfulness principles, emphasizing presence and detachment from the incessant stream of mental chatter. Chapter 3. The Illusion of Control. Many people believe that controlling their thoughts will lead to a better life. Nguyen dismantles this notion, arguing that trying to control thoughts is like trying to stop the wind. It's futile and exhausting. The more we resist certain thoughts, the stronger they become. Instead of trying to eliminate negative thoughts, the key is to recognize their transient nature and let them pass without resistance. He uses real-life examples to illustrate this point, such as how individuals who try to suppress anxious thoughts often find them returning with greater intensity. By letting go of the need to control thoughts, we paradoxically gain more peace and freedom. Chapter 4. Happiness is not in the mind. One of the book's most profound insights is that true happiness does not come from thought at all. Many people chase happiness by seeking better circumstances, relationships, or achievements, believing these things will bring lasting joy. However, Nguyen points out that happiness is not something we acquire, it is something we uncover when we stop looking for it in external things. He illustrates this with examples of individuals who seemingly have everything yet feel empty, as well as those with very little who experience deep contentment. Happiness is not created through thinking, it is found in the absence of excessive thought. The more we quiet the mind, the more we experience the natural state of peace that exists beneath it. Chapter 5. The Power of Presence. Nguyen introduces the concept of presence as the key to liberation from suffering. When we are fully present in the moment, we are not caught up in mental narratives about the past or future. Presence allows us to experience life directly rather than through the filter of thought. He provides practical ways to cultivate presence, such as mindfulness practices, deep breathing, and sensory awareness. By focusing on what is happening in the now rather than engaging in mental stories, we can access a state of peace that is always available to us. Chapter 6. Letting go of the need for answers. A common trap that keeps people stuck in suffering is the relentless search for answers. Whether it's seeking validation, trying to understand why things happen, or overanalyzing situations, the mind's constant need for explanations can be exhausting. Nguyen suggests that true freedom comes from embracing uncertainty. Instead of trying to figure everything out, we can allow life to unfold without needing to mentally dissect every experience. This shift from seeking to simply being allows for a more peaceful existence. Chapter 7. Freedom Beyond the Mind. The final chapter ties together all the concepts explored throughout the book. Nguyen reinforces the idea that true peace comes from seeing beyond thought, rather than trying to manipulate it. He encourages readers to live from a place of awareness rather than from the conditioned mind. He leaves the reader with a powerful message. Happiness is not something to be found. It is something that emerges when we stop searching and simply allow ourselves to be. Conclusion. Don't believe everything you think is a liberating read that challenges deeply held beliefs about happiness, thought, and suffering. Through simple yet profound insights, Nguyen offers a new way of seeing the world, one that frees us from the tyranny of our own minds. The book is not just about changing thoughts, but about changing our entire relationship with thought. By understanding that we are not our thoughts and that happiness is found beyond the mind, we can step into a life of true peace and freedom. For those feeling stuck in cycles of overthinking, anxiety, or dissatisfaction, this book serves as a gentle yet powerful reminder that peace is not something we achieve, it is something we allow.